My special guest tonight is Marianne McMullen, editor of the Dayton Voice. Good to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks for inviting me, William.
Why did you decide to start the Dayton Voice?
Well, we started planning the Dayton Voice about 3 years ago. A big impetus for us was the coverage of the Gulf War. The coverage in the mainstream media was very one-sided, very pro-war, and we were very concerned about that, the implications of not covering any dissent to the war, and just the level of propaganda that made it right into the mainstream media without any questioning. And a lot of us were concerned about that. There were about 6 of us who got together to start planning the Voice. The other thing that concerned us in the Dayton media market was that there were certain voices that were missing. If you read the mainstream media in Dayton, there were women's voices were missing predominantly, African American voices were missing. The gay and lesbian community, you wouldn't know it existed by reading the mainstream media. And so we wanted to help fill some of those holes in the media environment. We wanted to affect the media environment and make it more accurately and more broadly represent Dayton in its entirety, represent the whole community instead of just a segment of the community.
Why is an alternative paper so important in a city like Dayton?
It's important because as we've grown more and more, most cities are one newspaper cities. There aren't competing daily newspapers. It's a very capital-intensive industry. It takes millions of dollars to have a daily newspaper. So it's gotten to the point where it's financially prohibitive to have competing daily newspapers. So weeklies have come in to fill that gap, to give a different perspective, just a slightly different voice than the mainstream press. We've had conservatives, even though we're left in the political spectrum, we've had conservative readers call us and say, hey, it's really good to have just a different voice. You know, even if I don't always agree with it, it's nice to have something different and not to have a monopoly on the print media in Dayton.
So the Voice has been received well by the community then?
We really couldn't have asked for a better reception. One thing we were very happy with was that early on a lot of people knew about us, and that was surprising because we didn't have any big budget to spend on billboards or commercials or ads. We could advertise in our own paper, of course, but we couldn't spend a lot of money reaching out to people. We had to do a lot of legwork. We just had to get the paper out there. We did radio shows and different appearances. We did things that didn't cost a lot of money. But we seem to be fairly well known fairly quickly.
Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.